How you doing, YouTube? Matt with Massive Beer Reviews. Back at the end of the review. A little bit of Jersey-born Zero IPA. Hopeful goodness. In the form of Backward Flag Brewing. It is their Something's Missing Zero IBU IPA. I've never had anything from these guys before. I've seen some of their stuff, especially in like social media and stuff like that. But I just never had anything. And I popped into a local bottle shop. This was sitting there. Done and done. Picked it up. Here we are. So what's on the can? And like I said, Backward Flag Brewing Company. Something's Missing Zero IBU IPA. It's on the back here. It says Forward Assault Series helping veterans move forward. It says back here there's a quote from a Rory Hamill. Because of the Weed 5 Foundation, I provided the opportunity once again to be a warrior to deal with my physical and mental trauma in a healthy and beneficial way. And down here it says We Defy Foundation. A portion of each beer sale will go to the We Defy Foundation. I actually looked into it a little bit because I was like, okay, you know, bit of information on there. I don't want to go forward without knowing much of anything. Rory Hamill, I guess, is a veteran that they kind of collaborated with the beer on. And We Defy is kind of like a post traumatic stress disorder, kind of through actually mixed martial arts, Brazilian jiu-jitsu and all that kind of stuff, helping veterans. Pretty cool. As you can see, kind of the brewery is kind of military forward. Anyway, I know, this is off the top of the head stuff, the owner, it's a female-owned, which is cool. I mean, you see a lot of female-owned breweries, but veteran-owned, female-owned brewery, and they do a lot of stuff with veterans and things like that. So that's pretty cool. Let's see, Forked River, New Jersey, which isn't too far where this dude grew up. I was born in Point Pleasant, grew up in Toms River. This is probably, I don't know, half an hour south of there. And yeah, that's that. Label-wise, it's pretty cool. I actually like the art design. You can see there, just kind of like a coolly drawn kind of soldier with a, prosthetic leg there. I dig it. We're all about the beer here, so let's dive in and see what she's got. Now, Zero IBUs. What are we dealing with here? Most likely it's just, post-boil hops. Science, So we'll see what's what. Now, sometimes they're like, okay, this is a Zero IBU beer. You're typically, when you're talking about your post-boil hops, you're looking at the beer kind of dropping out almost all bitterness. Hence the Zero IBU. Sometimes you can get a little perceptual kind of bitterness off it and stuff like that. Anyway, index finger, infinite creaminess. I mean, it's super. You want to sleep on that motherfucker. So creamy, pretty uniform bubbles throughout. Just got a nice soft taste to her. I mean, it's not that creamy, milky kind of cataract-y kind of thing that a lot of these big, huge the New England style IPAs get, but it's pretty damn hazy. You get a little bit of color through and just got a rich golden color. Let's see if we got a nose on her. Yeah, I mean, it's Sunny D. You're talking about a big citrus component in there with the Sunny D vibes. There is a soft green kind of dry hop component to it too. So there's a soft green greeniness to it. There is a little bit of perceptual bitterness to it, and but it's all about that kind of non-rindy, non-pithy, non-bittering kind of Sunny D-like kind of sweet, juicy orangeness to it. Yeah, she smells quite nice, actually. Nothing too heavy, nothing too dense. Pretty light, actually. Smells like a pretty inviting, pretty welcoming, pretty chuggable beer. Let's dive in. Cheers. Yeah, pretty much follows suit in the taste. Actually, the mouthfeel is absolutely fantastic. It's got that rich, creamy, fluffy softness to it. You do get that big pop of that orange in there. There is like a little bit of soft kind of fresh hopped particulate kind of greenness to it and kind of bitterness. Sure, you're talking about a Zero IBU beer, but even in I know the science behind the whole, adding post-boil, doing the whole thing with the hops, but if you're just going to bombard a beer with hops, there still is going to be a little bit of particulate-based kind of bitterness to it, and that's there. So I wouldn't say this is actually zero bittering in this beer. Zero IBUs, that's a whole other thing, but it's like, it does have a little kind of like my perception. There's a little bit of soft bitterness in there, and that's a good thing. It's like that soft graininess I talked about in the nose. It's not bitter by any means, but it's kind of there. And you get that nice citrus, but you get a bit more in the taste outside of just citrus. It's almost a little bit of fruit medley, just a little bit of stone fruit, just a touch of it kind of floating around there, just a little tiny little peach pittiness, along with a soft kind of mango vibe to it. Just very, very soft on top of that citrus. I would say the nose is a little bit bigger, a little bit more robust than the taste ends up being, but it's pretty nice stuff. I think it's actually probably one of the better, more well done zero IBU beers that I've had, because I think it's a little bit kind of softer handed. It's not as just, let's just throw as much dry hopping or get so crazy with the beer outside of the kind of, or should I say, kind of counterbalance that kind of zero IBU. Be like, we're going to go, not going to go to the traditional route with hopping. Let's just go so far in the other direction. This tends to be come off, at least to me, a little bit more reserved, a little bit more approachable, really soft, really drinkable. Nice. I mean, what was the ABV on this? 6.8%, so just sub 7%. It drinks probably closer to like a 5% beer, but not necessarily in a negative way. It's impactful, it's nice, it's creamy, it's soft, it's just super chuggable. And really, honestly, pretty damn tasty stuff, to be perfectly honest with you. Yeah, I dig it. So let's talk about it. Is it one of the better IPAs I've had as of late? Actually, yeah, I'm going to say it is. From the drinkability portion of the show, it's just so easily chuggable. I mean, that dropout of bitterness kind of puts it in that realm. But like I said, there's that little bit of perceptual kind of green, kind of particular hoppiness kind of bounces off that sweetness, and combined with that mouthfeel just makes it super easy chuggable stuff. Value and availability, $16 for a 4-pack. It's kind of standard fare nowadays, and leave you with, if you like what we like this. If you like pretty much the new school kind of New England style IPA where you're kind of dropping out pretty much all bitterness. Like I said, perceptually for me, there is a little bit of that there, but that's a good thing, not necessarily a bad thing. And it's definitely very cool Sunny D vibes in the nose. Kind of releases in a little bit something a little bit with a bit more birth, a little bit more depth to it in the taste, but at the same time, it's not super over the face, hit you in the face with a 2x4 kind of impactfulness, but at the same time, it's robust enough, big enough to kind of give you what you want, while at the same time being a nice tight and tidy package that's super drinkable. That doesn't suck. So there you go, another review in the books. Down there if you want to talk about it. Massive Beers if you want to check me out doing the social media stuff. Beer Mess if you want to check me out doing the whole podcasting stuff. There you go. If you want to check out them doing the whole thing, the We Defy Foundation, you go there and donate some money or any of that stuff, or you buy a beer. You buy a beer and you help out some dudes that can use some help, which doesn't suck either. So there you go. Win-win all around. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully enjoying a nice beer right now. Hopefully see you next time. Cheers.